Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another Tuesday night stream. A little bit different commentators tonight. It is myself, CV Bain, and I'm joined by the usual. Bye-bye. Ben.
Yep, Ben Myers here, live and in Technicolor. We're at the Great Circuit of Misano, watching these guys take part in the oNiD Racing Tourenwagen Masters Round 3.
Yeah, it's a track that I was meant to be racing tonight, but it's probably a good thing given it's Misano and knowing what my reputation's like. So
You've got a reputation, Stevie. Who'd mention that?
Apparently I do, but I'm not sure what it is. But I'm gonna adjust the stream settings a little bit because it looks like I am. No, okay. How am I gonna do this? So it looks like that's it better. It was looking a little bit jumpy, but it looks to be sorted now.
Yeah, I think we're doing all right. We're flying a little bit by the seat of our pants tonight. Aiden had to call out relatively last minute, so Stevie has wonderfully stepped into cover for him tonight. So we're just watching the AMs out setting their first lap times.
Yeah, so a split qualifying. So it is, as you say, the AMs out now. And then it will be the pros out after. Who are we looking at in the AMs? We are currently watching Ben Holmes. Is going around decent relative on his lap. But it's all kind of first laps that are going in anyway, so... in fact, I don't know why he's got a relative if it's his very first lap. Oh no, sorry. He did do a lap before. I'm seeing 2 laps, but the first lap must have been invalidated.
Yeah, so he's hoping to get a time on the board. He'll be hoping for a good time because he's top of the standings for the AMs at the moment by a couple of points.
And jumps up to 4th, although just been knocked down to 5th. And I was away to say it's really close at the top, but that lap from oNiD there, knocking him a good half a second clear of everyone else.
That's impressive. And that Ferrari seems to be a popular car around here.
Definitely, it's so planted. I know you don't drive ACC because your computer melts itself if you open it.
Yeah.
But the Ferrari, it feels like a little LMP car in that you turn in and it does just turn in. Compared to some of the other cars that might need a little bit of persuasion, shall we say, to turn in.
Bit of coaxing.
Yeah, so I can understand the track where you've got to be so precise to keep it within track limits that it would be advantageous to have it, but...
Yeah, great technical track around here, so it's... Hopefully we're looking to... we're going to have a good race through this. It looks like people are already getting quite close to each other in qualifying.
Yeah, well, oNiD's actually up on his lap, even though he's following him behind, but Dave Wood is 7/10 quicker, so he is going to, if he gets this last corner correct, going to put it onto provisional pole position. And does so with a 34.555.
Does indeed, couple of attempts there. That's some big margins coming through, considering it's dry rover as well, compared to the rain we had last week.
Yeah, Matty Sack 9/10 up on his lap as well. That's going to move him up quite a lot, actually, possibly into 3rd. As we see him come across the line, and is going to jump up into 7th, but it's so close between kind of 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. At the moment, only a 10th between those two, those various places, not 2 places.
Let's see. They've got a couple of minutes left, so maybe time for 2 more laps if they're lucky with their placements on track.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to be in the kind of 30-40 seconds into their lap time at the moment. So
I think
Yeah,
they'll probably get one more out of it. And I think we're going to see the times tumble here. I think everyone's going to be pushing hard to get that last time on the board and get every last bit out of it on the grid.
definitely. It's a track that you so easily just make one little mistake on the entry to one of these hairpins and you lose 2-3 tenths. But at the same time, you try push that little bit harder and you run wide at the last corner, for example, which we're seeing Sven come through at the moment.
Yeah.
You run wide and cut the track, or run wide of the track. That's you done. But
we are seeing a lot of people taking a lot of that exit curb on the final turn.
I think you're okay as long as you stay on the coloured part.
Yeah.
Matty Sackler, another good lap here, does now jump up the third.
That's a decent lap, but Wood is a good half-second clear of at the top there. It's going to be a lot of time for anyone to try and catch up on that one.
Definitely, it's looking close between 4th, 5th. I think that Amez will jump up to 4th here with this lap. It's a pretty solid improvement by 3 tenths. So all these drivers will be now on their last lap in qualifying, because when the 10-minute strikes, they've got to finish their lap and then the pros will come out. And most of them are down on their laps as well. So we've got Richards coming across. He'll be first to set a valid last lap.
Got a little bit twitchy as he came through the double right-handers there. Just a little touch of twitch on the tail.
Lost a bit of time, about a tenth up going into the last corner. Keeps it nicely within track limits. Although has lost time, so it isn't going to move any positions. Ferris now coming round for oNiD Racing Stronger. Is improving quite a lot. Going to be a really good lap time if you can stick it. 8 tenths up. Going to jump him all the way up to 5th, maybe 6th.
That's a massive improvement. Does indeed. Takes clean into 6th place.
I was going to say last across the line, but Amez did just run wide off the track and invalidate, so.
Was that a run wide, or was that a I give up at that point?
Don't know.
You're seeing the first few pros making their way out now.
Yeah, so now they're all going to have the challenge to beat. It's a 134.2 to beat, which should be able to, I would think. What do you reckon? I think we'll get into the 33s. Do you think we'll see a 32?
I think someone might manage to pull a 32. So the Ferrari's looking planted. There's some guys who'll be doing great things in those Lamborghinis as well. So I reckon they're going to be up the sharp end. Not sure. The Porsches might be a little twitchy for around here, but we'll see what they can do.
Yeah, so currently looking, first person that is going to cross the line is going to be Miles Dixon to start a lap.
He's picked the perfect spot to get out there, hasn't he? Get himself nice clear air in front of him.
Definitely. So we're going to see what Miles can do. Maybe stick on board for a lap and give you what it looks like for these drivers. Now coming into T1, hitting the brakes at about the 50 board. You can cut a lot of T1 and a lot of T2 before 3 and 4 should be flat around here. Maybe that's just 3, I'm not sure. I thought it was a double apex, but then again, 2 really slow corners, but should be flat out from about the middle of that one and through here. The easiest place to invalidate, as Miles did keep it in. That must have been so close.
Yeah, we got a little twitch through there, and I think that's got careful on the exit of the corner there to make sure that he kept it valid.
Yes. Now back up the hill to this kind of kink right before the hairpin, braking at the kink, tucking it in, and you want to get a great exit out of here because you have got a long straight-ish coming up, so you want to drive down. So flat out through the first kink and the second kink here before hitting the brakes for the third and then the hairpin. Super easy to get track limit warnings here as well by running wide. Sometimes you can even get 2 if you run wide there, so be really careful.
I suspect we're going to see some penalties for track limits in the race on that score.
I think we will definitely see. Miles crossing the line is going to go straight onto pole with a 1:34.2, but it's only by 0.05 of a second, so it's not as far away as what we might have thought. As Dan Hearn just beats that as well in the Porsche.
Yeah, it's still very tight. Only into the 1:34.1s there.
It's a quite hot track. It's currently 29 degrees ambient, 32 degrees track temperature, so it is warm, and the left-hand tyres do get quite a bit of punishment on this track as well, so possibly slightly wrong pressures as they're going out. But looking at this, a lot of drivers didn't set a valid lap time there, only 4 did.
Cool. It's going to make things interesting when they go onto their second laps.
Definitely.
The time pressure is there to get the lap times in on this one. It's only a 20-minute session for them.
Reef did manage to get a valid lap in as well, but is down in 18th. I know wasn't quite sure why he was in pro, but with an apex like that, he's not going to be going any higher.
Ooh, that was a bit slidey there.
Just a bit. Well held though. It's going to be some toasty rear tyres, but Miles is away to cross the line and is going to go back into pole. 33.5 now. Better Yellowneck coming across. He goes into 6th, which is then straight into 7th, because Aidan Carter has put in a lap at 34.1 as well. It's looking quite tight at the top.
Definitely the Pulse boys looking to set their cart out for the race here.
Definitely. So it's a 1-2-6 Pulse at the moment, as we saw Son Angel going into 10th place. Trinket de Tas still not managed to set a lap time on their second valid lap, going on to their third as well. And Kingston hasn't is back in the pits after doing 2 invalid laps.
Strange, maybe making a last-minute setup quirk, or hoping the track will clear a bit before he goes back out again.
Yeah, possibly. There's quite a few drivers actually back in the pits, so Dixon, Austin, Carter, all 3, the top 3 at the moment, back in the pits again. So maybe adjusting setups, adjusting tyre pressures, and putting a fresh set of boots on and going again. But
I mean, they've got the tyres to use. There's no requirement to change tyres at the pits in this series. So if you've got the spare rubber, you might as well burn a bit more in quali and hope for the best.
yeah, I think there is limited tyre sets, but as Dan Hearn puts it up into 2nd. Yeah, limited tyre sets in it, but is enough to do a couple runs of quali. As you see, Thumesh pull over after putting it into 3rd, and that, unless he's quick to get back out, is going to be the end of his qualifying as well.
Might just be able to get out in time to put one more in, but it'll be an all or nothing lap on that one.
Yeah, you're going to have to heat the tyres up very quickly on the lap as well.
It's not a task I'd want, trying to get the tyres into the temperature window around here for one lap.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Thought just while we've got drivers, most of them are on invalid laps or just starting their laps at the moment. Jump into chat and see. Sam Page is here. Aiden's here. The wrong side of the stream, but he's here.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh dear.
got Gizmo here as well, and a big Dave Wood fan. I'm going to set it on fire tonight. Well, he is your current pole sitter in the ARMS class, and it's still in 6th as well. It's
He's mixing it with the pros.
yeah, that is not a shabby qualifying as well. I think he's going to get knocked into 7th by Jelinek. Oh no, he didn't.
I think Jelinek either falling afoul of the track limits there, or just not able to get the car working for him properly for this qualifying run.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It did say he was up, but then I noticed there's a big gap between 7th and 8th of almost 4/10, so he maybe improved but stayed within that 7th place. Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
So that someone got caught out stopping to go back to the pits there.
I think so. But see, Kingston now has set a lap time. So Kingston up into 9th, which means our only driver not to set a lap yet is Trinket de Tas, who is currently just started a lap now. So hopefully they'll manage to get a lap in and sorted. But up at the top, Miles Dixon still leads the way with a 33.5. However, Dan Hearn's putting in a lap that could get him quite close here.
Let's see what Dan can do. Oh, no. That's a big twitch and he's round. He just unsettled the car on the inside the corner there, so that'll be his qualifying done. He'll have to settle for 2nd.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. He was around about the same time as Dixon on Delta, but so easily done. But wonder if we'll see any of that in the race, or if people will calm down and manage to get around. But Kingston putting in another quicker lap. Obviously, last lap was their first lap, or first valid lap, I should say. But are now taking another 4/10 out of it. 2 more corners to go, just catching up to the back of Darren Eaton, who is off his lap time. He's not going to improve, maybe just doing some pit stop practice. But Kingston going to come round and is going to take 5.5 tenths off his lap time, which is going to jump him up to the top 5, up into 5th.
Very nicely done.
And we'll jump back to see Trinket de Tas still on a valid lap, 1 corner to go. Can he keep within track limits?
Ooh,
Looks like
pushing,
he has.
He's pushing. Go on,
Has
Trinket.
managed, and
There
up
you
into
go.
17th. Aiden Carter would have been next across the line, but that invalidated, which leaves Jelinek as the last car on track in qualifying. Is pretty much on his Delta just now.
Yeah, he got a little bit wide over the curbs there.
If he can nail these, only has to take a 10th off before he's up into touch, which he's almost managed. It's just not going to be enough. It's going to be half a 10th, but it's not going to move him up a position.
Very close.
And that is qualifying done.
Yes, indeed. They were all pushing very hard out there. It's a very tight grid. So that was what, the top 6 or 7 separated by a second?
Yeah. So let's have a little run through of the grid. Yeah, if I can get my... If I was pushing the right button, my keyboard would have worked. Professional streamers. So we have, as you can see at the front of the grid, it's Dan Hearn surrounded by Pulse drivers. Miles Dixon on pole, followed by Dan Hearn in 2nd in the Porsche. And it's another 2 Ferraris. Obviously, the Ferraris do work well here, which is Thimesh and Austin. Then go down to row 3 with Kingston lining up alongside Aiden Carter. Driving forward, go for the gap, although I'm not sure why the livery's not loaded in for me. Dave Wood in 7th place in the all-Merc 4th row, lining up alongside Per Jelinek in the Racing Stronger Merc. Then have Son Angel and Udod in 9th and 10th place. Matt Isak and Ames, 11th and 12th. The sole Audi in this championship as well, the Ames is driving. We've got Anthony Richards and Chris Ferris in 13th and 14th place. Sven Delemen and Ben Holmes, 15th and 16th. Trinket the task for oNiD Racing, getting a lap in at the end. Maybe had to be a bit conservative just to make sure he got that lap in. He is in 17th place with Harkonnen in 18th place. It's quite a nice liveried Porsche, that one, is it? I like that.
That is very nice. That's a bit Lotus, isn't it?
Yeah. Fidone and Johnny Ashley, 19th and 20th. Johnny in his Bass Pro Shops Merc livery.
That's a great livery.
Then we've got Sven Vischer and Jan Wacker, 22nd and 23rd. Then got Chris Wacker and Simon Harris in 23rd and 24th, with Darren Eaton, Stevens and Sam Page bringing it up at the rear in the oNiD Racing Stronger Lamborghini, as the drivers drive away to take their formation lap.
It's a good looking grid, that, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of good liveries on it. So, jump back in the chat as well just to make sure. To carry on through it. Darren Eaton's here, Clayton Austin's here as well. Miles Dixon too, saying that I'm wrong. I don't know what I was wrong on, but I assume that I probably was.
Fair.
Yeah. Ben22 Racing, Warty Warthog saying let's go Pulse. Paul O'Grady here as well, who made his PC racing debut last night in the minis. Decent
debut as well, 3 top 10 places.
Yeah, it was. It was more top 10s than I got that night. Cucumber Bush saying good evening. Sam Page not enjoying the Lambo at all. It's an acquired taste. The Lambo is, I think. And Trinket's here as well, saying just bad at Misano.
Nothing conservative about his lap at all. That was just where he was.
Oh dear. All the drivers coming down a long back straight now. It's a long formation lap on some of these tracks, isn't it?
It is a bit. It's not quite as long as Spa, but with so many tight, slow corners, even when you're trying to keep the tyre heat up, it's going to feel like a lot of time round back to that start-finish straight.
Yeah, definitely. It's but at least with the new update, it's a good chance to get the tyres up to temperature, and because it can be difficult in the new update to get it quite right, but they are now coming round the second last corner, not the last corner, which I was gearing up for. So yeah, we'll rewind on that.
Get themselves lined up in their grid slots so they come round the last turn.
Yeah. Hour-long race, 1 pit stop mandatory within a pit window. So it is going to be red lights, and we are racing. Green light.
Here we go.
So, decent start from Dan Hearn, getting already alongside.
Hearn's getting very close to Dixon there.
But Dixon has managed to take it down the inside turn 1, around the outside of turn 2, and has taken the lead overall. Looks like it was fairly clean at the back as well. There's a lot of jostling about, but I don't see any yellows, which is always good to see. As I've cursed it, and there's now lots of yellows.
Oh dear.
So we will go and have a look and see what happened at that a second. It looks like Dixon is away and clear, but let's go have a look and see what happened. Oh, I've not jumped back just far enough, but a lot of cars off.
I think that was one of the Lambos getting turned round, and is that one of the Mercs, or is that a Beamer that got caught up in it and had to bail?
See if I catch it this time. So, Richards down. Oh, there's. It's a.
Oh, yeah.
Unlucky, really.
Yeah.
It was. I think that was Kingston that got knocked, and ended up round, and then everyone else got nowhere to go. Such a blind, tight corner as well, and you see Richard and Woods, who was our pole sitter in the arms class.
Oh,
is in 26.
Yep, he just got turned round, had to hold his brakes facing the wrong way as the entire field streamed around him. That's got to be an interesting experience, and the front of that Merc's looking a little bit second-hand now.
Yeah, although Dan Hearn's not letting Miles Dixon get away. It looked like they were pulling away a little bit, as Richards has another off in the background. It's not good, but we're going to stick with this. See, can Hearn get the run into the left-hand hairpin? Not quite, but does close up a lot.
He's thinking about it. He's lining himself up right underneath Dixon's rear wing, holding on to that slipstream.
Yeah, I know the old Porsche, it was really good in Sector 1, being the tight twisty bit. But now that this new one's come out, it's a lot different characteristics, and I don't actually know where it's suited to on track. But kind of looks like it's the back straight, looking how close Ern's getting.
It's looking planted.
Yeah.
Which is not something I normally expect from a Porsche, I've got to admit. I've always found them very twitchy.
This one is a lot better at driving. You don't really feel like you're on death's door constantly. But it looks like he's lost a little bit of time in Sector 1. Yeah. It's Sector 3 even, sorry.
Whatever Dixon's done to that Ferrari, it's really putting the power down out of corners. And it's just pulling away.
Alex Kingston putting Johnny Ashley under a bit of pressure, and even more pressure there. Does think about going down the inside, but not quite enough room. Johnny getting a great start up into 13th as well. Me and Johnny had a good battle last week. He's disappointed that we're not getting to reignite, as Trinket the Task went very wide in the background there. Has got going again, but that was definitely a mistake.
He's held into... I don't think he lost position. He's held on to a 18th, but it's not looking the happiest of cars underneath him at the moment. No,
that was a move on Wacker on Harkonnen, but Harkonnen's going track round the outside. He's going to be able to hold it round the outside, round this hairpin. Will be able to get the power on a little bit earlier for the straight. There's a bit of door banging.
Yeah, little bit of hip and shoulder there, but he's got a nose in front.
Who's going to be bravest round the kinks? Wacker does manage to pull through.
Yep.
And wide. Is that going to let Fisher steal a place?
It looked like Harkonnen backed off slightly there, just to make sure he had the ideal line for that next set of corners.
It's a tough place to go side by side through. It's definitely not that you'd want to go side by side through. But yeah, there's a lot of close cars at the moment. It's I'm finding it difficult to pick who I want to have a look at, but we'll look at the back of Leighton Austin, who's caught right up to the back of Dan Hearn, setting the fastest lap on that last lap.
Yeah, but he's thinking about a move.
Definitely.
Stuck the nose out there, just letting Dan know that he's there.
Yeah, just trying to fill his mirror with that bright yellow and pink Pulse car.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Looking at that livery, there's no way Dan wouldn't know that he was there.
No, definitely not. It's maybe tactical. Has been a place in the background. Trinket Sass has just managed to get past. Vischer. So down the inside of the right hand kind of kink and then hairpin.
Yeah, just gets it turned in that bit quicker. The BMW has to back out rather than turn into the side of him. And Trinket makes the move.
Yeah, good move as we're seeing a move down the inside by Sven here. And, oh, I thought there was going to be contact, but he's made it stick.
I thought there was going to just be a little nudge there, but no, nice and clean. Kept his nose out the back of that Beamer and gets it round.
Yeah, as we've got another overtake. Ben Holmes going around the outside, but they're away to come up on a yellow flag. Amez, UDOD even. So you can see the Ferraris just appeared in front of them. There was a small issue. But this battle, Ben Holmes taking the place from Chris Ferris and is now going to be charging up the road again to catch UDOD, because that is second place in class, if he can get them.
Yeah, he's going to want to make the moves sooner rather than later as well, because the Anfield, he's leading by 2 points, but he's leading by 2 points from Amez. So he wants to clear UDOD and try and get on the back.
And noticing we're starting to get penalties through as well now. I don't have the sheet open. I will open it in a minute to see what they're for, but I do know that the one for Peter Jelinek will likely be for the turn 1 instant where we saw Kingston get turned round.
Yeah.
I'm not sure on the Vischer one. I'll have to have a look and see what that was for. I have to go hunting for the sheet, so you can. I'll leave it to you just now.
We'll keep an eye on things. That's watching Ferris. He's trying to close down Holmes in front, but Holmes is looking wired in with that Lamborghini. He's looked very settled in it for the first 2 races. He's definitely wanting to close up on the AM cars in front of him, and he's got plenty of chance to do it as well, because he's right under them now. Let's see what he thinks when he gets up right behind UDOD. The director takes down to Alex Kingston, who's looking to make a move on Johnny Ashley. Slings it out wide, trying to get the undercut as they come out of the turn. Isn't able to get the Lambo turned underneath the Merc. The Merc puts the power down very nicely. But Johnny's definitely got an eye on defence there as he's looking back at that orange Lambo of Kingston.
Yeah, Johnny was... last week I had a bit of an incident on that one where I went onto a wet curb and managed to do a donut. And I would have said Johnny was one of the hardest to pass as I was coming back through. It was only a mistake that then let me get alongside before I could get by. And then I took my drive through obviously straight afterwards. But
yeah. You just asserted dominance and then took your drive-through on him, basically, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, he'd given me the drive-through by pretending to crash and me overreacting to it. So, yeah, I felt it was fair.
Completely.
Yeah.
It's the only way he'll learn.
Exactly. Getting really close now.
Kingston's not letting him get away, and they're getting very close to that Merc of Sack in front as well.
Woods managed to make up a position up to 20th now on the kind of recovery drive from 25th or 26th they dropped to. So they have made up a position on Dealman. Now, We'll see how far they can get, but this is turning into a bit of a three-way here.
It is
Which is
indeed.
my best Adam impression.
Oh, Johnny gets it a bit wide and the Lambo gets up the inside of him. Side by side as they run down towards the King.
Johnny's got the toe and that Merc is quick. And it looks like he's managed to stay in front.
It just puts the power down so well, that long wheelbase just lets it cruise away if it can get its legs underneath it.
Oh, and there's a car.
What was that in front there?
Udo does manage to get going, but just come in front of Johnny and squeezes in between Johnny and Kingston. I did not think there was a gap there, but
that's going to make him popular.
Johnny will be loving this now. He's got a bit of a breather.
It's like, you two fight, I'll just be heading off in this direction.
Yeah. It's keep flicking back to the battle at the front because it's still close, but just not close enough to make a move.
It's been holding it around that 3/10 mark for the entire race so far.
Yeah, as we've jumped past it, Kingston has managed to get past UDOD, so we'll go and see how that happened. So, looks like it went round the outside of turn 4. UDOD gets a little bit squirmy on the curb and then gets the inside for turn 6.
Absolutely well done. Nicely taken there.
But it's,
they'll be back harassing Johnny any minute now.
Oh, definitely. UDOD possibly having damage has dropped another position to Wacker has been watching and now has Harkonnen alongside. Oh, pulls back in.
I wonder what happened to UDOD there, because he was firmly in second place in the AMS. Oh.
I'll see if I'll go and have a look and see if I can get a replay of it. As he makes the move down the inside of Wacker. Great late opportunistic move there.
Very nice.
As Trinket gets past Harkonnen in the background as well, so.
They're making the passes work around here. For a tight circuit, they're finding their way through.
Definitely. So this should be what happened to UDOD. No. It isn't. This was a tiny bit of contact, obviously. But by the looks of it, I haven't got it on my contact bit, which means that likely it was a self-inflicted.
Yeah, we saw him off on the grass on the inside, so I wonder if he just broke traction and ended up out in the dirt.
Yeah. So update on the penalties. Car 3 has a 10-second penalty, which was forcing another car off the track. As Johnny brakes so late. Was that a touch? Not sure, but it's let Kingston finally get through.
Kingston mug him on the inside there.
Will he try again down the inside?
Might have been a touch. Wait. Johnny would probably call it a bump draft at this point.
Yeah. But Kingston, taking no time at all, gets alongside Matty Sack straight away. Battle of the Lambo and Merc.
Inside.
And it looks like Lambo is going to win this time.
Nicely through into that 90-degree right-hander there. But Johnny's thinking about it as well. But
he's got a nose down the inside. It's going to be the outside for the next 2 corners. Can he hold it? Matty Sack being far too kind.
Wide, but he's very generous with his defensive moves there.
Definitely, and it looks like UDOD's now making a move.
Yeah.
Gonna have to go the long way round.
He's getting slightly mugged here, is Sack.
Yeah. Seems to be 1 car passes and that's it. You're,
so that's UDOD through.
Now Trinket on the inside.
Wacker looking at the outside there.
Is Wacker going to try and stick it down the inside here as well, or are you going to try and use the grunt of that BMW to get a run down the straight? It's
now this doesn't look right to me. Sack is losing a lot of pace all of a sudden there. They're finding it very easy to get past him comparatively.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just the I don't see much damage on the car.
Well,
But is it just that sort of, you know, when you make a mistake and you get
yeah,
a
and he's
little bit
feeling shaky.
flustered and and you make a couple more mistakes and it just compiles. So hopefully now get a little bit of a breathing room with a gap behind and gets back settled again. So other two penalties, we've got a 10-second penalty for 665, and that's for running into the back of another car, it looks like. And then car 66 has a 5-second penalty for a late move at an overtake and coming together with the car that they were attempting to overtake.
Classic dive bomb penalty there.
A minor dive bomb. It's only been 5 seconds.
Well, wasn't quite the full Stuka.
No.
Daniel Hearn's still right on the back of Dixon here. He's dropped off slightly. But I'm wondering if he's not willing to try and make the move and maybe hoping that he can get the jump done in the pits. They've got, what, 8 minutes left to the pit stop? To the pit window opening?
Yes, it should be. I'm pretty sure it is a 10-minute window.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if he's keeping his powder dry, hoping that either Dixon will have a longer pit stop or make a mistake on the way in.
Yes, Kingston's managed to get up past Ferris. We just caught the end of it there. And down the inside into the left-hand hairpin after the back straight.
Kingston is on the move. He's having a fight back here.
Yeah, just remember, this is the car that was turned round at turn 4 as well.
Yeah, he was down in what, 20th, 23rd?
Yeah. Our other one of the other main ones, Dave Wood, with quite a lot of damage to the front of that Merc, you could say as well. Now up into 19th place, second back on 18th, but not too far as we've seen some battling going on up in front. Harkonnen on the inside of Matty Sack again, so Matty Sack still losing positions.
He's still struggling. He's not feeling confident in that Merc, is he?
No.
He's taking a lot of curb on the inside as well, trying to defend, and I think he's unsettling the car a bit.
Or is it back tyres overheated? Because that was a hell of a slide tag with that corner and has let Vischer up the inside. As I've realised I was on the wrong car there. So Vischer's through, and Wood now
coming through
is going to try, although gets just as much wheel spin and is now having to defend from Wacker, but manages to brake later, takes the apex and holds on to his 19th place.
Well, that's been a very strange drop for Sack. He was up around the P10 mark.
Yeah, I mean,
dropped back.
Yeah, it was it was Johnny that overtook him for a start. Johnny and Kingston with the two when we kind of caught on. So went from 10th-ish to 18th in 2 or 3 laps.
Yeah, about 2 laps. I think it was there. It just doesn't look like he's feeling confident. I think he's had a moment and then he's trying to regain the confidence, but everyone else has just pounced on him in the meantime.
Maybe got tyre pressure slightly wrong, and as we're going into the race a bit more, the heating up too much and then struggling more, and as you know, it compiles from there.
Yeah.
Jumping onto this as Aaron looks to try and go around the outside of Maz Dixon into the hairpin, but I noticed on the timing sheets that this has let Leighton Austin catch right up to these two, as you can see now.
Yeah. Timesh is not too far behind them either, so Hunt's surrounded by the Pulse guys still. And they'll be wanting to get a good triple position. That's the kind of thing Pulse would like.
Yeah, to lock out the podium.
Yeah.
That would be a good result, but I think Daniel Hearn is definitely upsetting them.
Yeah. He is not letting go of that P2, and he's not letting go of the chance at P1. He's got it into within 2 tenths there.
Yeah, it is going to be an interesting one to see who pits first as well. Is Dixon going to pit first and try and cover off the undercut from Dan Hearn, or will Hearn dive in when he sees Dixon not? He catches up so much through that section of corners there.
Yeah, Dixon positioning the car really well there to stop him getting a proper run on him. But it's got to be tiring as well, having been constantly looking in the mirror for a big gold Porsche right underneath your rear wing.
It just looks like Hearn's got the brakes on him. But that Ferrari is so good out of corners as well, though. It's going to be tough for Hearn to set a move up unless it's under the brakes.
Yeah.
But again, Daniel getting a much better run out of the hairpin in the back straight, but it's just not enough room to go too wide round here.
Yeah, that draft's pulling him along, but Dixon positioning the car again really well. It's just stopping him. It's not removing the temptation to just sling it up the inside and hope for the best.
Definitely.
Dixon's putting the car there and saying it's not going to work.
Dan Hearn just coming off the back of a really good position on Sunday in the Mosa Endurance Championship that SGP are running. He came 5th along with Ben and Matt Goodyear-Scott in that, so he'll be riding on a high at the moment, and especially if he can take this first place off of Dixon. But fastest laps, there's only a 10th in it between the two of them. And we're seeing
starting to come up to traffic.
Yeah, it's just the one car. It's Sam Page, who is still having a bit of a struggle with that Lamborghini, but we'll see. As Sam's usually pretty good at getting out of the way. He'll know what to do when these guys catch up to him.
Yeah. I'm normally a proponent of stick to your line and make sure that you're being predictable, but I wouldn't object if Page just wanted to just get out of the way on this one. Just,
Yeah.
Just have a look at that and say, I'm not having any of that.
Looks like, just noticed in the timing tower, it looks like Johnny Ashley had a go at Ferris, but Ferris has managed to get him back, and they are still 11th and 12th. As Dan Hearn looks down the inside, so close.
It's just right underneath. It doesn't seem to be compromising his speed through the corners either when he's trying to make the moves.
No, but it's definitely compromising both of them, given how close Austin is now. And as you said, Dimish is within a second of Austin as well. 5th place Carter is a little bit further back, 5 seconds back, but I can imagine if this turns into a bit of a 3-way or 4-way fight, we'll be straight there. As you see, Sam sitting on the outside is going to
let them nicely through.
Yeah, that's good from Sam.
Absolute neon train following that Porsche round there.
Oh, and Matty Saxday goes from bad to worse.
Oh.
As there is a little DT initials next to his name. And
no.
Yeah, drive through, so he goes straight in. Oh, that was Sam Page into the wall in the background there, I think, unfortunately. And that is RTG. I'm sorry, Sam, but
you caught our attention. It's not going to go well.
It's a Lambo slide. As I'm putting it on to here, there's a bit of a battle going on still. Udod down the inside of Trinket. Pit window is open. As the pit window now opens.
We've got 10 minutes to get in and get some fuel on board. Whether they'll take tyres, I don't know.
So it's fixed refueling. So it's 25 seconds refueling regardless how much you put in. Tyres will bump that up to 30 seconds. However, it depends on how bad their tyres are feeling already.
Yeah.
I mean, if you thought, like, if Miles took tyres at the moment, he would drop to 4th place if the other 3 didn't. Just on that pit stop alone, so
Yeah.
it's going to be a big strategic call.
Yeah. Oh goodness, that was a big hit,
Oh.
and that was Johnny into the pit wall on the way in. Was that?
What
Was
happened
that
there?
with him? Was that Trinket behind him?
Trinket
I
has
think
moved.
Trinket was trying to
Oh
make.
no!
I think Trinket was trying to make a move on him.
I don't know if he's trying to make a move and didn't realise Johnny was going in the pits, but oh, that's not
Yeah.
going to be a happy bunny.
Oh, admin on admin violence.
Yeah, that is a very
That's a
broken Mercedes too.
yeah. That's going to be a long repair stop, I suspect. That was a
Yeah.
very big hit into the wall.
Ooh, not so good, but we do see quite a lot of cars in the pits. And just now, so 5th place Aidan Carter has jumped into the pits. Kingston's in the pits. Trinket's in the pits. I don't know if he wanted to or not, but he is now in the pits. Darren Eaton's in, Woods in, Dale Emmons in, Harkonnen's in, and Richards has been in already and come back out.
A lot of guys getting their pit stops out of the way very early into the pit window there.
There was quite a few had damage from the start as well.
Yeah.
So that could have been the reason.
Get it fixed, get back out again. And hope that the pit stops will bring other people back to you.
Yeah. But we are going to be watching top 4 still not went into the pits. Maybe trying to leave it till halfway.
Miles is pulling a little bit of a gap there. It's gone up to 7 tenths there. It's not massive, but it's been hanging at the 2 tenths point for near on half an hour.
Yeah, as Johnny Ashley is another yellow flag, I'll spare him and not click on it. Or should I?
I think we should. But I'm a very cruel person.
Oh, he might have just been slowing to let people pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Oh, well, that's disappointing.
We're hoping for chaos and we got nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I suspect Johnny will very much be into the pits on this one. In fact, he is in the pits now.
He is, yeah. That's probably a wise choice. Attempt to. So, Leighton Austin first jump of the top runners. Now, into the pits, going to see if he can get the jump on the others.
Yeah, he didn't look very confident getting into his pit box there. I think he was unsighted behind Johnny and someone else there. So that might have cost him a little bit.
Seeing Dan Hearn still right on the back of the exit.
Right back up of Miles.
Going around the outside. Can he make that stick? Don't think it's going to work. Doesn't quite work. Good attempt though.
They haven't been able to get a ciggy paper between the two of them for the entire race.
I know. The sweat is going to be dripping off the both of them.
It's just what you want, isn't it? Start of August and you're racing within 3 tenths of another car for half an hour.
So, are these guys going to jump now since Austin's went into the pits?
You'd think one of them's going to be thinking about it. I don't know. I reckon Miles might wait for Hearn to jump in. Can't wait to... Or maybe not. I'm completely wrong. He goes straight in.
Miles has dived in, so Hearn now. Time to put the hammer down and sit in quick laps. As Thimish has also jumped in, so it is just Hearn left. Johnny Ashley still in the pits. That was a long pit stop.
Yeah. It's not been Johnny's evening.
2 minutes and 5 seconds and counting.
God. Oh, we've all been there at one time or another, and it doesn't make it any easier.
Yeah. At least this time it wasn't, or I say it wasn't Johnny's fault. But it wasn't solely his fault that he ended up hitting the pit barrier. Because he has been
Oh,
known to enjoy going into the end of pit walls.
It's like Aidan is rooting for Hearn in the chat at the moment, so clearly he's enjoying the stream at least.
Good. Do you think we're going to see Hearn pit this lap?
I don't know. I think he's got to consider it, because you don't want to be spending too much longer out there. How much time are you going to gain? It depends on how fast he can go. He's looking confident.
He's
in.
He's in. So we'll see where he comes back out. Harkonnen now on the back of Wacker, seeing if they can make a move.
Well, 23 seconds back it just gave us the readout there.
Apologies, had to let my girlfriend into the flat.
That's better than what one of our drivers did a couple of weeks ago. Locked his wife out of the flat while he was racing with us.
Oh.
Then sent her a text message saying asking if she could wait until he'd finished his race before he'd let her back in.
Oh dear.
I mean, fair play for trying this at least. I don't think it was going to make you popular.
No, not at all. So Aidan Carter has made decent moves here, but we are now watching Miles Dixon coming across the line. Are we going to see Dan Hearn on the side? It looks like he is leaving the pit lane, so he's managed to get the jump by an awful lot.
That's a very big jump.
So I reckon that's about it is a 5-second jump, which
So
then begs the question:
did he take tyres?
let's have a look. Dan Hearn time stop 26 seconds. He did not take tyres.
No.
Dixon time stop 33 seconds. So he most likely did take tyres.
Yeah.
So
Took tyres and lost a few seconds in there as well.
That's going to make it interesting then.
Just waiting for I'll just be waiting for you, Dodd, to take his stop now. He's going to have to do that in this lap as well, so he'll be out their way.
Yeah, he's coming round the second last corner now, so does have time. Will be hopefully jumping in, and it has done by the looks of the track map. Or has he? Yes, he has. He has.
Say if he hasn't, he's going to be very out of luck because he's not going to make it round again.
Yeah.
So Hearn will be coming through to take the lead in the next. Well, be doing it right now, in fact.
Yeah, so that is Hearn taking the lead again. But I don't think that Porsche is very good on its tyres in the best of days.
Yeah, it's going to be I mean, he's got 5 seconds back if he can hold on to a decent pace. Well, 4.5. If he can hold on to a decent pace for the next 25 minutes, it's going to be hard for Dixon to close up. And even when he does close up, he's then got to get past him.
Yeah, and we saw how difficult it was for Hearn to get past Dixon already. Was definitely one of the quicker of the two. But I mean, that gap's already went from 5 seconds to 3.5.
Yeah.
Matty Sack now.
Very hard to get back.
So Matty Sack on the up this time. Going around the outside of Darren Eaton.
Excellent.
So managing to move back up as we see Aidan Carter and Thimish come through as well. those two lock nose and tail together. Thimesh, one of the, I would say the losers out of the pit stop, really.
Yeah, he's dropped a long way back off Austin. That was he was just behind him as they went in.
Yeah, it must have been about a second between, and now it's 8 seconds, so...
Yeah.
And I would have said he'd just run a bit too wide there too, so...
Yeah.
I wonder if we're going to see more drive-thrus coming in shortly.
I wonder if the Pulse boys all struggled with their pit stops on this one. 33 for Dixon is not a quick stop.
It was 33 for Dixon, 32 for Austin, 37 for Thimesh. 31 the quickest pit stop at the moment, Vidoni. Apart from Hearn, obviously, who got 26, but...
Yeah.
So Hearn with the quickest pit stop, but didn't take tyres, and looks like he might be the only one who didn't.
So this is going to get interesting. Dixon up into 2.5 seconds now. He's driving that gap down bit by bit.
Up on board, see if we can see. You can see Hearn up in the distance. He's got a target. It's locked on. Just waiting for the missile to close in.
I mean, Hearn's got to have known how much of a gamble that was. Yeah, you're going to get 5 seconds in the pit stop. But if the tyres are going off on you, it's not going to do you any real favours.
No, yeah, you're going to take track position, but it's not Monaco. Let's see DLM in just in front, getting out of the way very nicely. As we see another drive-through, that is Vidoni in the Ferrari, so that is drive-through number 2 of the night. Vidoni in the Lagoon Racing Ferrari.
I'm not sure I'd want to place a bet on how many drive-throughs we're going to get for track limits tonight, because I think everyone is pushing very hard out there at the moment.
Yeah, and I think you are going to be quite right. I believe there's going to be lots of people on kind of 2 or 3 warnings already.
Yeah.
And are just trying not to, but gaps within the fields, they're all spreading out. Johnny back out with no damage in the car, but is down in 26th, so it's going to be a tough push. But he is behind Simon Harris, so he might be able to give Simon a little bit of a race.
It is a much shinier looking Merc all of a sudden there. It was not looking very happy after that meeting with the pit wall.
No, definitely it was not. It's one to be clipped maybe. Or maybe not. Might get deleted straight away.
Put it on the shorts.
So
that'll make us popular around here, won't it?
How to shut a community down.
Yeah. Blimey, Dixon is right up underneath her now.
Yeah, it's now down to 0.3 of a second, but I don't think you need the gap anymore to see how close he is. You can almost smell Dan's back bumper. The new tyres making it light work, I think, catching up. And
oh, it's very defensive from Dan there as they go through.
Yeah, you can already see.
Yeah, he's picking the defensive line straight away.
You can already see the drive though that Dixon's got on those fresh tyres. It's so much better out the corners. That
absolutely.
I don't think Dan's going to make it easy for him.
No. Dixon thinking outside there, switches back. Got half a nose alongside, but I don't think Dan would be averse to an impromptu rhinoplasty on a Ferrari there to try and keep that first place.
No, he did chop the nose across a little bit, but that has let Austin catch right up as well. So now definitely do have a three-way battle. Hearn struggling with those old tyres.
Yeah, no way is he going to be able to keep this up for 20 minutes.
No, I can't see it either. I mean, he's not only going to have one pulse car behind him, but two in a minute. He's going to be thinking his eyes are watering. He's seeing double in the mirror.
Just pushing that Porsche for all he's got to try and keep ahead.
Yeah.
That Ferrari's just got so much drive off the corners.
I think coming out of this next left is going to be Dixon's best place, getting a good drive around here. Although that was definitely a track cut because he touched the grass. But look how close he is.
Lots of inside curve there, yeah.
Has to go around the outside because Dan Hearn's not going to let him. There is a nudge. Yeah, everyone lives. Still trying to switch to the inside. Dan's just not giving it up though.
It's getting a bit touring cars there.
Yeah. Round the outside though. Is he going to make this stick? I think he will with the fresh rubber, you know. Dan's going to have to be brave, but I think Miles is going to chop his nose off.
Yeah.
And does.
Miles just for the drive. Dan dropped a long way off the back there, having to bail out of it.
Let's let Austin get right up. Austin also on fresh tyres, we presume. So, just going to be trying to get by as quick as possible to not let Miles get away. Because, after all, it's not a... Well, I don't know if there'll be team orders, but I would hope not. So
yeah, I'd like to think that there's not going to be a...
Miles is faster than you.
Can you confirm you understood that message?
Yeah. We'll let you have the next one. It never happens. Yeah. All the time Austin's behind turn, it is going to let Miles get away. I mean, he's already 1 second up the road in half a lap.
Yeah,
but
just pulling off into the distance there. I don't think the gamble's worked out for Hearn there.
No, definitely not. It's been, what, 10 minutes?
Yeah.
And, yeah.
It was a very calculated gamble to not take tyres, but I think they have dropped off spectacularly there.
Yeah, I think so. It was maybe gambling on what the others would do as well, thinking maybe Pulse aren't going to take tyres, so I'm going to not take tyres. It's all these things that if you were driving this race for real, you would have a race engineer telling you they've taken tyres, you need to take tyres, but in the world of sim, a lot of the time you're on your own. You don't get all the extra info of having a spotter in the pit lane to see what's being done, and in some ways it's almost harder.
Yeah. You've just got to run your own strategy and hope that you've got it right. It's a complete gamble half the time. You can give it your best guess about what you know is going on the track and how you feel, but unless you've been pushing those tyres in practice for hours on end, you're not going to necessarily know they're going to drop off that much for you, or that the new ones are going to completely blitz you out the corners.
Yeah, totally right, because it's not one of these things that we can practice an awful lot. I mean, I know you could spend unlimited amount of time on the sim, but a lot of us have jobs, we don't get the time on, or we're racing in different series as well. So, maybe Hearn hasn't done any races around Misano in the new update and doesn't know that the tyres are going to drop off this much.
Yeah.
But, what I do know is that he's definitely going to be struggling for the rest of the race, and it has allowed Thimesh to close up by 3 seconds now on the back of these, so 15 minutes still to go. We could still be seeing a Pulse podium.
Yeah. So Austin is right underneath. Austin's got to think about making the move as well in the near future. At the moment, Dixon is just getting free air ahead of them. They've cleared a little bit of traffic.
Yeah, last lap for Dixon was a 35.0, and now a 35.8. Last lap for Hearn, 35.4, which isn't that bad considering. I know it's 6 tenths, but it's
Well,
the difference between 10-minute old tyres and 45 minutes old tyres. Which
that Beamer gets out their way. I'd say Austin doesn't seem quite as confident trying to make a move on Hearn as Miles was there.
yeah, it didn't take Miles too long before he started getting kind of punchy in and about. It's almost like Austin's just sat back and needs to, as you say, needs to start pushing, getting a move done, and then trying to let Thimesh catch up to the back, because at the moment Thimesh is actually the quickest out of the lot of them.
Say that, Austin stuck his nose up the inside of Hearn there. Just wasn't able to get it done, but I wonder if there was a little touch there. They're all pushing very hard to try and keep going here. But Miles is just able to walk away with it at this point. He's got yonks of free track in front of him.
Yeah, 3 seconds up the road now as we see Artem Udod on the back of Chris Ferris. Ferrari versus Ferrari, but is trying to push both in the same class, so this is for the last place on the amateurs podium. As it gets a nice wee switchback, but that Ferrari just switches and will kill all of his speed and down the straight, so we'll have to think and go again on that one. As Sam Page still struggling, unfortunately, as yellow flag again at T1.
It has been a difficult day for Sam.
A very difficult day. I don't know what happened here, if he just loses the back end to the left.
Yeah. It's
what
Lambo
I find
doing Lambo things.
Yeah, what I find with that Lambo is it's really good when it's hooked up, but the moment it starts to slide, you're gone. You can't. You aren't able to hold it. So, very unfortunate, but Austin's still right on the back of Dan Hearn.
So what, we're going to see some big movements in the championship of tonight. There's a lot of the championship protagonists who aren't actually racing tonight. The top guy who's actually in with us tonight is Jelinek in 6th.
Really?
So it's Miles is down in 8th at the moment. Obviously, he's going to leap up substantially.
This is. Oh, Austin's got a drive-through.
Oh no!
And that has just killed any chance of him getting second place.
Yeah, that's going to drop him a long way back.
Yeah, so that is drive-through number 3 of tonight. But Austin now 6th place is going to lose another down to 7th, possibly even 8th. It's a long old pit lane here.
That's got to feel so horrible.
Yeah, 8th place just coming around corners is definitely going to pass, and now there's a big clump coming, so Austin might even get swamped by them.
Yeah, he's getting back up to speed.
Does manage to slip out, so
yeah.
But yeah, that's it. Going for possible second place down to 8th in one slip of the white lines.
That's the pressure off Hearn as he's keeping an eye on Dixon up front. It's got Timish about 6 seconds back from him.
4.5. So
4.5. So.
Not it's closer than it was.
Yeah.
But Thimesh putting in half a second a lap quicker a lap time. So what have we got? About 6-7 laps left.
That's 6 left. He's going to be on the back of Hearn at the very least.
Yeah, but we'll have
whether
to.
he can get past him is another matter entirely.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fight right at the end of the race if he manages to keep the pace up. Although saying that, he was actually slower on that last lap, so may have made a mistake slightly. But we're now watching Matty Sack on his comeback after the great fall. In 22nd place at the moment, but on the back of Sven Lemon. And does look to have the pace now, so I wonder if there was just something not quite right with the setup. Burnt the tyres up, or...
You know, he's got the fresh rubber underneath him. He's looking a lot more confident in the car.
Yeah, as Chris Ferris has had an issue. Oh, D Lemon had a slick slide.
That was definitely a bit of a track cut there.
Yeah, I've clicked the wrong car. Apologies. And that, well, Yellowneck was a blue flag car, so it is through as well. But Matty Sack making another position up into 21st. But we saw Chris Ferris off a minute ago, which is why I clicked on his name by mistake. We'll see if we can see what actually happened. So coming down the fast kinks, and the back end of that Ferrari just goes.
Yeah, I think he just carried a bit too much speed, got on the brakes, and it just went nope.
Yes,
broke the tracks and they ended up in the gravel.
That would be a scary old crash if it was in real life, would it?
Definitely a bit of a brown overalls moment, that one.
Oh, 100%. Darren Eaton on the back of Vidoni now, trying to catch up. Has got a bit of a run, although possibly Darren Eaton actually just lost out on that last lap to Vidoni. Looking at their last lap times, as Wood has had an issue. And more damage to the front of that Mercedes.
Yeah, it's
going up to the... Just...
slings it round. That's, yeah, scrapes the barrier.
A race to forget, I think, for Dave Wood. He's still going, still in 19th, but with more damage to that Mercedes.
Carrying on, he's still in the points for the AMS, so he's going to be bringing home points in his class at least if he keeps going. And holds position, which is always a big if.
He's got 22 seconds behind him, so he should do.
He should be fine.
Yeah, big buffer. At least. Leighton Austin, though, after his drive-through, is on the charge looking to pass Son Angel. Going to be a little bit frustrated with himself, I can imagine. Was for a good finish, but it is so easy to do.
From what you told me, around here especially, with those tight confines on the track.
Yeah, it's
where you'd think it would normally let you get away with it. Sometimes it just doesn't, and you end up paying the price for it.
Yeah, the trouble here is that the track invites you to cut the corners and go wide.
Yeah.
But when you do, and you take it just a little bit too much, that's when. But this is going to be a beautiful move around the outside of T1 into T2.
It's very nicely done on Angel there.
Yeah, that is up in 7th place. Is 10 seconds off the back of Kingston. Who's going to have to push pretty hard, given Kingston's last lap was a 34.7. I don't think that's going to be possible. Quick update on Thimesh. Did a 34.5 last lap, which was the quickest lap of anyone that last lap. Dan Hearn a 35.4, so 9/10 quicker.
Oof.
The gap is now 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, depends what corner you mention it on, isn't it? It's now 2.5.
Yeah, say 2.5 on the live. If he's pulling that amount of time, it's what, 3 laps left maybe?
Yeah, I would say so. Although
it's going to be close on the last couple of laps.
Did run wide at the exit there. That's not going to help, but
no. Took a loss on T1 as well there. So. I'm not sure Miles would be very impressed if the other Pulse lads both get drive-throughs.
I don't think so either. So it'll definitely be a long debrief after that.
Yeah. Very one-sided one, I suspect.
Son Angel's not letting Austin get away.
No.
We saw the pass go through this section of the track last time, and just thought Austin would pull away, but Angel managing to...
Stuck on the back of him.
Yeah.
It's a
So
very good-looking car, that Ferrari.
Matty Sack trying to go down the inside of the hairpin after the back straight. They were tight up against the wall, but has forced Stevens into a mistake and gets another position up to 20th.
Well, sack on the redemption tour as he's trying to come back through the pack from that drop down the field earlier on.
As we see Dan Neaton right, he is still right on the back of Vidoni, but I've just seen a little +5 pop up next to his name.
Oh
so
dear!
Even if he makes that pass, it's not going to work out in the end. No. I don't think. So that was for running into the back of. I think it was for running into the back of Vidoni earlier on.
Ah dear.
So.
I mean, it's not going to drop him out of his current position, but if he spotted it on his own displays, he's got to be thinking of settling back now, because even if he gets through, it's not going to be worth potentially ruining your race to still end up in the same position.
No, as we just had a disconnect or something there.
Not sure who that was.
Harris was catching up to the back of. Who was it? Harkonnen. He was just catching up to the back of Harkonnen. Harkonnen's had a disconnect and disappeared.
Had a couple of those tonight. I think Harris did actually drop out at one point as well, didn't he? I could be wrong. I might be reading the wrong people in the chat.
Yeah. There's Dale Emmons got another drive through. That's number 4. With 2 minutes to go.
Oh dear.
We are seeing a move by Dan Neaton. He has managed to get past Vidoni this time into turn 4. And now has the tough task of pulling away by 5 seconds.
5 seconds away. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Thimesh to slow down on the charge a little bit. You can see Dan Hearn in the foreground there. But the last couple laps have actually been quicker for Hearn. That lap was only 0.2 quicker for Thimesh, so I think unless there's a mistake from Dan Hearn, he might stay second,
in that second place.
Which I think is a great result given what it looked like after the pit stops.
One set of tyres and he's still managing to pull away with the second place. I think if you told him that before the race, he'd have bitten your hand off.
Oh, definitely. And I would have said if you told him that after he came out of the pits and Dixon had caught him and he was getting pressured by everyone, he would have bit your hand off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, a really good job from Daniel Hearn to stay there. It just seems to be pumping in consistent mid-35s as well. Doesn't seem to be any mistakes. It's just, it might be slower than what cars around him can do, but it's still quick enough to hold that gap. I mean, his last lap was actually faster than Miles Dixon's by a minuscule amount, but I'd have to think that. And Trinket de Tass is in the pits. Has he miscalculated the fuel?
Could well be, and that's going to cost him.
Yeah.
He'd made quite a good run of it there as well.
Definitely, it was up into what, 12th, 13th place, and now dropped all the way to 18th already. Oh. And I'm sure there's more to come.
Yeah.
But Yelnek not giving up on this space. Aiden Carter up in front, but Yelnek's been slowly reeling him in. Last lap was by over a second. And it's still coming down.
They're pushing right to the end here.
Next, seeing that extra points and thinking I'm having that. I mean, taking half a second out in turn one, sector 1 alone. The Lemons had a bit of an issue on track going through the first couple corners, unfortunately, but has managed to get back going again. But Yellownet, look how close he's getting.
Yeah, but he's got to be thinking last lap lunchtime, isn't it?
Yeah, I wonder if Aiden's has misfueled as well and is trying to get to the end, lifting and coasting, because
it's a lot of pace is dropping off there.
They're so close, and is he going to get a move down into the hairpin? Just a little bit too far back, as we see Miles Dixon crossing the line, giving it the big old wiggle.
Victory wiggle across the line.
But these two going side by side. It's going to be in the last corner. Can Yellownet get the cut back? He's going to try. He's pushing. We're going to Helicam to see.
That's close.
And Aiden takes 4th place.
Great battle right to the line there. And I think Aiden is very much out of fuel, given that he just pulled straight over.
Yeah. Kingston, a great recovery up to 6th place. With Austin 7th after that late drive-through. Angel in 8th. Amez in 9th. And Holmes rounding out the top 10. But, yeah. A big shout out to Miles Dixon. It's just left the server. And for the win. And then Dan Hearn as well. As we've got Dale Enman with a 30-second penalty, and Sam Page with a drive-through at the end as well to round it up to 5.
Oh. That's insult to injury, really, isn't it?
I wonder if Dale Enman got just at the end, and that's why he's got the 30-second penalty as well.
He was carrying a drive-through, and I don't think he ever cleared it off.
Yeah.
So I think he just decided to take the 30 instead.
In the last few people cross the line, Vischer and Wacker and... Oh, Wacker and Wood, that was a close finish. Didn't catch that one before, but that looked very close. But
very much 600s between them at the line.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I'll just stick the highlights on while we close out, but that was a good, exciting race. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be... it'll definitely be interesting going into the next race. So we've got... I don't know if we have drop rounds on this one as well. I think there might be some drop rounds.
One drop round, 5 races to count.
Yeah, so as you were just saying, because when I flicked over the highlights, it wasn't actually catching what you were saying, unfortunately. Is that the top 4? So Rooney, Stredge, Vanum, and who was the
Jongen.
All not here tonight, so definitely going to be mixing up the standings a bit. And the other top runner, I suppose, Bain. He was unavailable to race tonight. So
yeah, don't know what he's doing. Just can't be bothered to turn up this evening.
Something like that. But yeah, that's going to ruin his championship chances apparently.
Yeah, great evening's worth of racing.
Yeah, so it looks like Trinket in chat saying not enough fuel, fixed time refueling, and didn't put enough in. And Sam Page saying I got a drive-through on the last lap to finish off a bad night. It's
that was kicking a man while he was down there.
Oh, definitely. It was. I'll try and see if I can give you some setups for the Lamborghini that'll help you, but it's definitely not the most user-friendly car when it starts to go all a bit wrong, as we've got a joiner in the comms booth. Hello, mystery joiner.
Hello.
Not a good night.
Joiner.
Not a good night for you, Trinket.
Not the best. As I said, Misano is not my most driven track. It's my least driven track in ACC, so not the most experienced in it, so I had to relearn it all again pretty much in a new car that I've rarely driven.
But apart from the drive-through at the end, and the qualifying inexperience, shall we say, how was the rest of the race?
Yeah, I had a lot of good fights. I had some great overtakes, some good fighting, but the last 10 minutes of the race I noticed that I wouldn't have enough fuel to finish. So I threw it into formation lap mode and kind of just tried saving fuel, but in the last minute or so I noticed that the leader had crossed the line and was going to do another lap before time ran out. And that extra lap meant I wasn't going to make it. So I had to come into the pits, fill up the car, and I realized, oh, it's fixed time refueling. This is even worse.
Oh, dear.
Oh yeah, it looked like Aiden maybe had the same issue and not putting enough in, and was fuel saving on the last lap or two, because Yellowneck caught up quite a lot and almost got him over the line. But I think you and him would have been the only ones that were that close. It didn't look like anyone else had to dip into the pits.
I use a program called Assetto Corsa Armamentario. You have UI elements on screen and it has a fuel tracker. So it told me put 28 litres of fuel in, so I put 32. It wasn't enough.
Oh god.
So is that getting put in the bin and back to the old calculator again?
Oh, it's been super reliable for the year and a bit I've been using it. That's the first time it's let me down so far.
That's yeah, not ideal, but and we won't talk about the other thing that happened, which I've just remembered.
Yes, it went quiet after that in the chat.
I can imagine it went quite quiet.
I don't think it got picked up by the tracker, so
it did.
Be...
It did get picked up, yeah. It did get picked up.
I didn't get anything for it. But yes, I was listening into the stream while driving. I did want to go into the pits, and so did Johnny. So we came together.
Literally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very much.
Slight miscommunication in intentions there, I suspect.
Mm-hmm. Get the team manager on the phone and get him to sort out the two sides of the pit crew. I think. No double stacking, please. But yeah, a night to forget for some, a night that was great for others, and I thought it was a really good race, at least to comment on. So,
Absolutely.
Any final words, Ben?
None that are probably pleasing for a stream. No, it was great racing. We've had three great races so far, and only hope the next three are just as good.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully you'll be seeing my name back on track again, causing chaos for the next ones, and you'll get your professional streamer back, and Aiden.
Is that what he's calling himself now?
I was just going to call him that, but hopefully, I know he had to dash off for an emergency, so hopefully everyone is feeling all better back there, and it's all going to work out. So, yeah, I'm sure he'll be back next week anyway. So, we'll sign it off there. It's been round 3 of the oNiD Tourenwagen Masters Series from Misano, from myself and Ben, and we will see you next week at an unknown track, because I've not looked any of them up. because I wasn't planning on doing this tonight. So
it is Zolder next week.
we're at Zolder next week, so prepare to see some cars start flying. We will leave you with that. Yeah, have a good evening, rest of your evening, folks, and we will see you again next week. Goodbye.